Om. युहुन्तः पविश्यामवाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चाभिवृता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us read the first verse. ईशावास्यमिदं समस्तभुवनं त्यक्त्वार्थगेहादिकं ब्रह्मण्येव मुमुक्षुणा नवरतं निष्ठाविधेयात्मनि अर्हत्वाय च तत्र कर्मविहितं कार्यं पुरा निष्फलं विद्वानित्थमुपाचरन् हि भजते निर्लेप आत्मेश्वरम्। So every Shastra commences with a certain introduction to what we call as Anubandha Chatushtaya, a description of. In fact, what Ramaraya does by presenting this discussion in his commentary Dinakara is essentially trying to establish this Anubandha Chatushtaya. So this has to be understood clearly so that we get the right perspective. The term Anubandha stems from Bandh Dhatu. So Anubadhyate means so that which is sort of tied. So tied with a certain exercise which we are going to carry on now. So here the exercise is one of studying. Okay. So when we undertake a certain study, we try to know what the subject matter of the study is and what the purpose of the study is. So let us leave other things. There are 4 things. So these 2 are most important. Vishayaha Prayojanam. So these are the 2 terms that are employed. So Vishayaha is the subject matter. Prayojanam is the purpose for which I am engaging myself. So without knowing these 2, it is absolutely impossible for anyone to engage in the process of learning something. What the Shastrakaras normally do is, in fact, the very difference between one Shastra and other Shastra lies in this. When I say physics, I mean something. So I am doing major in physics. I am doing major in chemistry, I am doing major in accountancy, so I am doing major in management. What differs? All of you are pursuing studies. What makes the differentiation is this Vishaya and Prayojana. All of us are students. So unless you have a yearning for learning, it is going to be absolutely impossible. So Adhikaritvam is essentially an earning that we need to have. That is there. But to learn what? So these are different subjects. So we call as Vishayaha. So in Vedanta there is a Vishaya. In Mimamsa there is a Vishaya. In Nyaya Shastra there is a Vishaya. In Nritya Shastra there is a Vishaya. In Sahitya Shastra there is some other Vishaya. So all Shastras are basically studies pursuing something, but what you pursue in that discipline so is what we generally call as Vishayaha. What do you gain out of studying this? So knowledge may be a broad term. So what is the purpose that you are going to achieve by studying this? So this is what we generally call as Prayojanam. And this Prayojanam, so nowadays it just happens that Artham Prayojana. Artham. Okay. Anyway, so that is why, this fellow who will toil for 5-6 years to get admission into IIT will immediately jump into some law school or somebody else into management school, whatever it is. Now, the point is, this is Prayojana, the purpose. So, the purpose in this Vedanta Shastra has to be very clearly understood. The Vishaya also has to be understood. Now, what this Ramaraya does through this Dinakara commentary is for you to have a much larger perspective, because this is all little involved discussion. Now, this Vishaya and Prayojana, unless they are established, so nothing gets established in clearly understanding and appreciating the purpose of study. So therefore, they say generally, Vishaya Prayojana Bhyam Vastu Siddhi. Okay. So, Vishaya Prayojana, see, so in fact, the idea here is to just question whether there is any Vishaya for this Shastra. So that is how the discussion commenced, if you look at carefully. So is there a Vishaya to discuss? Is there a Prayojana to discuss? So that is what we are going to go now. Okay, I am just trying to provide you a much broader framework in which you can understand. So how did it start, this Dinakara commentary? It started by saying, Ajaramartvadi lakshana lakshitasya brahmanaha asiddhatvena tadbodhakanam vedantanam apramanyam. You understand? So Ajaramartvadi lakshana lakshitasya. So Ashabdam asparisham arupam avyayam atharasam nityam agandhavacha. So all these are beautiful passages which are available in Upanishads. Is there an entity which possesses these things? Yetradasha lakshana lakshitasya means someone who is actually being described by these descriptions. Is there an entity which is existing? So that is Vishaya now. You are saying Brahman is Vishaya. How is it described? Nijayate mriyate va kadachit nayam kutaschenna babhuva kaschit najayate mriyate va vipaschit. So that is how Upanishad says. So Gita says somewhere. So is there an entity which exists in accordance with this description? So that is Vishaya here. So here what he is trying to say is, so Vishaya is not there. Who first established Vishaya? So that is what is the samshaya. So these are all actually known as Purva Paksha. Okay. So you start the discussion like this. Okay. So there is nothing like this. So this is a Purva Paksha which is being said. Then will come Siddhanta. Okay. So here Vishaya Bhavat Shastram Narambhaniyam. Okay. There is nothing like this. And therefore, so this exercise of studying Shastra is meaningless. So this is the first objection. So and then he gave, so you can refer to the previous classes. So we had a detailed discussion for this objection. So now he says, Vishayasya Sattvat. So if you do not understand, that doesn't mean that such an entity does not exist. So this is what he was trying to say that. So then, so if not you, someone else. So that is what he was taking. Now, you are saying that this is the Vishaya of the Shastra. Now, this is a entity, Vastu. Generally, we use the word Vastu to refer to an entity. So, this Vastu Siddhihi means that entity gets established through two things. So if you look into Nyaya Shastra, they will say generally Lakshana Pramanabhyam Vastu Siddhihi. Lakshana Pramanabhyam Vastu Siddhihi. The existence of an entity gets proved by giving definition and then giving a certain evidence to recognize that entity. This is pramana. Understand? By a certain description of that entity first, and then you show that this is pramana. Okay? Lakshana pramanabhyam vastu siddhi. So this is what they say. Now this Lakshana Pramana, with reference to the Vishaya, you have to supply now. Understand? So what is the Vishaya of this? Vishaya is Brahman or Atman. That is Vishaya. So what is its Lakshana? Lakshana and Pramana have to be stated. Okay? So what is the Pramana? Obviously you cannot see an entity like this. Ashabdam asparisham arupam avyayam tatharasam nityam agandhavachayata. It is impossible. So pratyaksha is not pramana. So anumana is not pramana. Shabda is pramana. We may see. So all of them are pramanas. Okay. So black hole you cannot see. What is the pramana? Shabda pramana. Physicists are saying that it is existing. And for them, what is the pramana? Some inference, anumana, pramana. Okay? And anumana is always based on some pratyaksha. Okay? So we have to understand this. Now, this Lakshana Pramanabhyam Vastu Siddhi, in fact, if we understand, those who have got some exposure to little Vedanta, studying this Brahma Sutras, so the first 4 sutras, if you look at, you will see that the second sutra provides the Lakshana for Brahman. Janmadyasya yataha. Okay. First sutra is primarily the entity sort of doesn't exist and this need not be carried out and so on. You can just, there are so many levels in which one can take the first sutra. Athato Brahma Jijnasa. Shastram Narambhaniyam. So you just have to learn Shastram Narambhaniyam. So that is first sutra, let us say. Okay. So now in the second one, what we find is Lakshana. And the third sutra, Shastra Yonitvat. So there are 2 Varnakas there. So I hinted the other day. So Shastra Yonitvat means, so Shastra Pramanakatvat. So is what you have to understand. Now that is the Pramana now. You understand? So the existence of this entity with these descriptions. So what is the pramana? Means Shastram Pramanam. Okay. So Shastra Yonitvad. So Shastra Pramanakatvad. So why am I bringing this here? I am telling you because the next two arguments that we saw in the previous class is essentially questioning the Shastra Pramanakatva. You get the point? So first is Vastu Siddhi. So then this Lakshana, and then we have this questioning. You are saying Shastra describes this. Now the question is, so the previous class I was just saying Amnayasya Kriyarthatvad Anarthakyam Matadarthanam. In some sense, you can just say that this does not actually describe that kind of an entity. Okay? So Kartri Shesha, Kriya Shesha Yaha Karta. So that is the person who is being described here. So that is the Purvapaksha of Mimamsakas. See, Karma Shesha. Understand? So this Karma Shesha, so who is the Karta? So as we understand, so not as a person Najayate, Namriyate and so on and so forth. Okay? So this Karta, as we understand this human being, so this is the person who is being referred to. Okay? And not the person who is Asamsari. Okay? So, and all kinds of description that we have about this Atman. So, he is not described, and therefore, that Pramana is also being questioned. See? So, Shastra Vedyam Katham Etadrisham Brahma Bhavati. Okay? So, Shastra essentially describes an entity who is Kriya Shesha, Karma Shesha. So that is why when Bhagavad Pada starts his commentary, so the first class I was just mentioning to you, that this commentary so is started with Akarma Shesha. Okay? So this, now here this question is, so what did I say? Vastu is established by Lakshana and Pramana. Now, the Shastra itself cannot become Pramana for this kind of a Vastu that you are describing. So, that was the objection that was being stated. Okay? So, since it is not connected with Kriya, there is no Kriya which is involved in this. So, that was the objection. Okay? So, the entire Vedic corpus is primarily meant for observance of Kriya, anything that is associated with the Kriya. Okay? So, is the one which can be described by this. And here what we see is, so this is not such an entity and therefore, see. So that was the second level of objection. Now comes the third level of objection which we are going to see now today. So in the second level, I was telling you one Anumana. So you have to just get a feel for this Anumana. So it is not too difficult, very simple. So Anumana has 4 parts, I said. So Pakshaha, Sadhyam, Hetuhu, Drishtantaha. Okay? Udaharanam, Drishtanta. So what was the Anumana that we saw in the last class? So it says, Avidya Vyavadhana Nivartakam Kriyaiva Bhavadhammatvat Dahakatvavat. This is the Anumana. So taking the position of Mimamsakas, so Akriyarthatvat, see, Anarthakyam that you were saying, Akriyarthatvat means because it does not either directly or indirectly describe Kriya. Okay, so this Vedanta, since it does not either directly or indirectly describe Kriya or things associated with Kriya, so this is Anarthaka. This was his position. Now this Kriya is also there. That is the kind of position which Ramaraya took. And he said, what is the Kriya that is involved? Avidya Vyavadhana Nivrittihi. Okay. So then the question was, Pravritti is a Kriya engaging. How can Nivritti be Kriya? So then he provided an anumana. So he says, avidya vyavasana nivartakatvam kriyaiva bhavadharmatvad dahakatvavat. Bhavadharmatvad dahakatvavat. In fact, in the last class, I was just mentioning to you that dahaka is a shabda, so whose pravritti nimitta is kriya. Now, the term pravritti nimitta, it is worth understanding this. Okay, I'll quickly spend a few minutes on that and then move to the other things. This pravritti nimitta is basically, so suppose I say pustakam. Okay, let us see this. So pustakam is the shabda. Okay, so pustakam is a shabda. It is a word. Okay. Now, when we are talking about this shabda, the most important source is Mahabhashya. So there is an interesting Patanjali's Mahabhashya. So I am just going to quote one thing from Patanjali Mahabhashya, and then you will be able to appreciate what is being talked about here. So he says, you repeat, Chatushtayi Shabdanam Pravrittihi.
Chatushtayi Shabdanam Pravrittihi. Chatushtayi Shabdanam Pravrittihi.
So then he says, Jati Shabdaha, Guna Shabdaha, Kriya Shabdaha, Yadricha Shabdaha.
Jati Shabdaha, Kriya Shabdaha, Guna Shabdaha,
Yadricha Shabdaha. I think the sequence is Jati, Guna, Kriya, Yadricha. So Jati Shabdaha, Guna Shabdaha, Kriya Shabdaha,
Yadricha Shabdaha.
Okay, so let us understand what we mean by these terms. So I took this pustakam because, so this is a pustakam. This is also a pustakam. Okay, the color is different, the size is different, everything is different, subject matter is different, all things are different. Now, suppose you did not know the word pustakam. Okay, somebody who is first listening to the word pustakam. So you just show like this. So pustakam. Okay. So you hear the word now. Suppose I have shown you this and I show you this. Will you describe this as pustakam or not? Okay. So any sane fellow will do. Or if I show a Manushya and show the second Manushya, so will you understand him or not? As Manushya, you understand him, right? So this is how, so you show some sarpa to the child, this is snake. So next time it sees the diagram and then says snake. What made it say? It recognized something called snake-tvam. You recognized something called pustakatvam. You recognized something called manushyatvam. So this is what is jati. Understand? So jatihi pravritti nimittam means next time when you see the sarpa, you use the word sarpa to describe that entity. What made you do that sarpatvam which you recognized in the first entity? So that sarpatvam is jati. So this pustakatvam is a jati. Okay. So that is the dharma which you, irrespective of the size of the snake, so you recognize some properties of snake. So moving like this, whatever it is. Okay. So it may be big, it may be small, it may be having a different color. Right? So you see a Manushya. So who is from Japan? Nose is very, very short. Okay. So you see some other fellow. And the figure is also short, let us say. Okay, only some 5 feet. 5.5 feet. You see a gigantic fellow. So you go to Africa. You go to somewhere else. So he is 6.5 feet high. You recognize as Manushya? Completely different. Color is different, form is different, eyes are different, nose is different. So we recognize certain things which make us say so. So this is what is meant by
Jati.
So pravritti nimittam, you describe him as a human being. What is the pravritti nimitta? Pravritti means shabda prayoge nimittam. Okay? The cause for using that word to describe that entity. So you recognize something called jati. Okay? So what is that jati? I mean dharma. So there are a group of dharmas is what constitutes. So sometimes it is also called as bhava. In Nyaya, in Vyakarana Shastra. So what do you say? Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. That is the sutra. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. So gor bhavaha gotvam. Sarpasya bhavaha sarpatvam. You also use sarpata, gota, manushyata. There are two suffixes. Okay. So sarpas jadatvam. See. So jadasya bhava jadatvam. See, in fact, there is a beautiful verse. I am just reminded of the verse now. See, you should know. In the Sivananda Lahari, there is a verse which starts with jadata. Okay. So since jadatvam came, I will tell you the verse. You repeat. It's a very beautiful verse. Jadata pashuta kalankita.
Jadata pashuta kalankita. Jadata pashuta kalankita.
Kutila charatvancha nasti mai deva.
Kutila charatvancha nasti mai deva.
Kutila charatvancha nasti mai deva. Asti yadi rajamaule.
Asti yadi rajamaule. Asti yadi rajamaule.
Bhavadabharanasya nasmi kim patram.
Bhavadabharanasya
Nasmi kim patram.
Bhavadabharanasya
Nasmi kim patram. It's a beautiful verse. See, Shankara as a poet. So we saw in Shatashloki, Shankara as a philosopher. In Sivananda Lahari, we can see Shankara as a great poet. You see, he is saying Jadata. What is meant by Jadata? Jadatvam. See, that is how I just got reminded. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. So this is Jadata basically means the nature of being inert, inertness. Okay. So inertness, we always use this word. If the other fellow does not understand, jadam mari irke. Okay. So you say that to go and do this, but that fellow does not understand. Jadamata irke means, so some inert fellow, so nothing happens, no reaction. So then we say that is called jadata. He says, O Shiva, I am not an inert being, I do not have inertness. In me, inertness is not there. In me, pashutvam is also not there. Jadata, pashuta. Third thing that he says is kalankita. Kalanka means something which is blemish and so on. Okay, marked with blemish. Okay, some spots. See, we use the word spotless character. You understand? So spotless means, I mean, sarire nasti itina. It has to do with something else. Okay. So spotless character we say. So similarly, kalankitava, I am a spotless person. Okay. So I am not an inert. I am not an animal. I do not have animalness in me. Okay. I am a spotless character. Kalankitava. Okay. Kutila charatvancha. Kutila charatvam means crooked in its motion. Okay. So just moving like this. Kutila chara. Okay. Crooked in thinking. Okay. Kutila charatvancha nasti mai deva. O Shiva, it is not there in me. If any of them were there, then you can refuse to take me. he is a crooked fellow, I should not bless him, I should not connect with him. Okay? So you can just dismiss me away. Okay? So then he shows his genius as a poet. So then he says, Asti Yadiraja Maule. Assume that they are there. Okay?
Hey, Raja.
So then, I'm sure you would have taken me. Why? He's having all the four. You understand? This Kutila Jara is snake. So that is an ornament for you. See, Pashuta, you are a Pashupati. You should have taken me. Okay? And spotless. So spot, if it is there, you have a Chandra.
Spotted.
Spotted element is there. You understand? See? So Jadata, Pashuta, Kalankita. Jada anyway. So you can think of various things which are Jada. Okay? So you can think of Shankhu, you can think of spear, which is anyway Jada. Shula is a Jada. Okay? It is an Abharana for you. Or you can take even water as a Jada. It is there. So anything you can think of as a Jada. Okay? Or you can take the Charma also. He is a Vyaghra Charmottariyakam. That is also a Jada Padartha. So whether this is there in me or it is not there in me, you anyway have to take me. Okay? So anyway, so that is a side thing. I just Tasya Bhavahat Patalau. That is where I was there, right? Tvam, Manushyatvam, Pustakatvam. Where were we? We were there. Chatushtayi Shabdanam Pravritti. First thing is Jati. Next is Guna. Suppose I say Krishna, Shukla. Okay? So these are all Guna. Okay? So suppose I describe some fellow, okay, as a monkey. Why am I describing? Guna. So the description of some fellow as a monkey is Guna Pravritti Nimitta. You understand? So tube light, no, they describe. Describe someone as a tube light. Why do you describe? Guna Pravritti Nimitta. As far as that description is concerned, you should understand. Okay. So that description in that sentence, how will you say? How will you explain that? Shabda Pravritti. So Shabda Pravritti Nimittam, so has to be understood in context. Okay, this is very important to understand. The word may be same. Okay, so that is what we need to understand. So Vedaha is a word to refer to that Shabda Rashi. Vedaha can refer to number 4 also. So then it becomes Paribhasha. If you refer to that Shabda Rashi, it becomes a Samjna. Okay, so the same word may be there. It can be either a Samjna or a Paribhasha. So the same word may be there. The Pravritti Nimitta can be different, depending on the context in which it is employed. So this Jati is a Pravritti Nimitta, Guna is a Pravritti Nimitta, okay? Kriya can be Pravritti Nimitta. In fact, that Anumana, Dahakatvam, Dahaka is a Shabda for which Dahanam, that Kriya is the Pravritti Nimitta. Okay? Dahatiti Dahakaha, Pachatiti Pachakaha, Upanyasatiti Upanyasakaha, Adhyapayatiti Adhyapakaha. Okay? All of them are these words which are generated based on some Kriya. Okay? Observing a Kriya, you use the word. Okay? So these Shabdas are Kriya Pravritti Nimittaka Shabdaha. And the fourth one is Yadircha. So Yadircha means somebody keeps the name. Okay? Is obey. I don't know what it means. Okay? So our man, that Patanjali, he gives the word Ritaka. Ritaka. Okay. So this is a Yadricha. Yadricha means just Ditha, the Bitha. Okay, something like that. Okay. So these are all some Yadricha. Okay. So what is Yadricha, etc. We will not get into that now. So my point was primarily to convey to you that this thing that we have, this Anumana, where Dahakatvam is used, and it is used to refer to Kriya. It basically says Avidya Vyavadhana Nivartakatvam Kriyaiva Bhavadharmatvat Dahakatvavat. Okay, there is a Dharma Dahakatvam. So this Dharma is what is essentially called as Bhava. Okay, Tasya Bhavastvatalav in that Shastra. So we have to understand this. And this is what will be called as a Jati. Okay, so Jati. In fact, there are finer distinctions. So that we will set it aside for the moment. So this Dahakatvavat is what he is using. Now today, the new class that has to start. In fact, there is a beautiful verse. Let me also tell you, this also you should know, because many of you, see, there are some 50 people who are listening with great interest. So this verse you should learn. Okay, these four things have been beautifully used by Magha Kavi. Okay, so there is a nice verse. So you just take. Now, you repeat the verse. Asampadayatah kanchit. Asampadayatah
kanchit. Asampadayatah kanchit.
Artham jati kriya gunaihi.
Artham
jati kriya gunaihi. Artham jati kriya gunaihi. You have to say it together. See, Artham you cannot split. Asampadayatah asampadayatah kanchidartham jati kriya gunaihi. Asampadayatah kanchidartham jati kriya gunaihi. Asampadayatah kanchidartham jati kriya gunaihi. Yadricha shabdavat pumsaha. Yadricha shabdavat pumsaha. Yadricha shabdavat pumsaha. Samnyayai janma kevalam.
Samnyayai janma kevalam. Samnyayai janma kevalam.
It's a very beautiful sloka. He says, in fact, you see how the Shastrartha has been beautifully brought out. That is why they say, Upama Kalidasasya Bharaver Arthagarvam Dandinah Padalalityam Maghe Santi Trayogunaha. Okay? So Magha Kavi is a great person. Now, Asampadayataha Kanchit Artham Jatikriya Gunaihi Pumsaha, any person. So he has to have a certain lakshya in life and try to establish himself as a worthy person of living in this world. And this can happen through three things. So Jati, Kriya and Guna. So how can it happen through Jati, you can think of. So that is by birth itself. Okay. So if you are born, not in this political dynasty. Anyway, so no, the point is, so this is very important to understand. So by birth, you will be able to imbibe certain virtues. This is born through DNA. You have to understand. I am not joking here. So by virtue of being born somewhere, you imbibe a lot of virtues and thereby you prove to be a worthy person. So this is first thing. You may not be born in such a situation where by birth itself you imbibe, but later you imbibe by imbibing a lot of virtues, understanding. Then also you become. a worthy person of living. Okay, so it can be through jati, it can be through guna, it can be through kriya. Okay, all three. So you go and serve, you may not have a lot of guna, but even if you do some service in some form to the society, then also you are a worthy person. Now he is saying, asampadayataha kanchidartham, he does not accomplish anything. Kanchidartham api asampadayataha means sampadanam is basically acquiring. You do not acquire anything either by birth or by guna or by kriya. Okay, so that fellow is saying, so here you see the Shabda Pravritti Nimitta, so he is using in a beautiful way. Asampadayatah kanchidartham jati kriya gunaihi. Then he says, yadrichha shabdavat pumsaha samnyayai janma kevalam. So, samnyayai janma kevalam means his life is not worthy of living. So, what is it worthy of? If you call him by name, so suppose that fellow is Ditha, so you call, that fellow may come, that is all. Kevalam samnya means someone will respond to that word. That is all. Otherwise, there is no other purpose which I see. Understand? This is a very beautiful thing. So I think all of you are intelligent to understand this much better. Samnyayai janma kevalam. In Tamil, there is a kural. தோன்றின் புகையோடு தோன்றுக அக்திலார் தோன்றலின் தோன்றாமை நன்று. Okay, so if you are born, may you be born to acquire something. If you cannot acquire by any of these means, it is better that you are not born. Okay, so anyway, that is not in our hands, but I am just saying, so that is the poetic way of saying. Okay, now let us come back to this. Now this jati, guna, kriya and yadrichha are the pravritti nimitta for shabdas. This itself is a beautiful theory. Anyway, now the point is, when the shabda happens to be having kriya as pravritti nimitta, so then that bhava dharma itself indicates kriya. Okay, that is why dahakatvam kriyaiva. Similarly, avidya vyavadhana nivartakatvam kriyaiva. Why did he bring in all this argument? It is basically to prove that even by taking the stand of a Mimamsaka, I can establish that there is a kriya, and therefore this Vedanta Pratipadya Vastu has pramana. Okay, so it is, there is a pramana. So this is a pramana for the existence of such an entity. Okay, so that is how we came. Now the next objection that we are going to just take up now is phalabhavat. Understand?
No.
Prayojana bhavat. Essentially. Okay? Vishaya prayojanayoho abhavat shastram narambhaniyam. That is the objection. So now I was talking till now about Vishaya. Vishaya and connected with the Lakshana, Pramana and so on. So now he is taking it to Prayojana Bhavat. So what is Prayojana? First we need to understand. So the word Prayojanam essentially means purpose. This is what we understand. Prayojanam means a purpose, a motive. Okay? So a connection, a motivation. So Anubandha is essentially a connection. I mean, this is very tightly related to Anubandha also. In fact, an Anubandha we say Vishayaha Prayojanam. Okay. Now, Prayojanam is purpose. So, how do they define Prayojanam? So, this is something which is worthy of knowing. He says, see, I will give you the Nyaya Sutra. So, Gautama's Nyaya Sutra has this definition for Prayojanam. Yamarthamadhikritya pravartate tat prayojanam. Repeat. Yamarthamadhikritya pravartate. Adhikritya pravartate tat prayojanam. Yamarthamadhikritya pravartate tat prayojanam. So yamartham adhikritya pravartate. Pravartate means he sets into action. So yamartham adhikritya, keeping whatever thing as the objective in mind, that is prayojana. So this is how prayojana is defined. Now it is somewhat elaborated in the commentary. Yena prayuktah pravartate tat prayojanam. So now pravartate can be of, pravartate means karma arabhate. This is what you have to understand. Karma arabhate. Okay. So we had this word pravritti or nivritti, right? So he says yamartham abhipsan jihasan va karma arabhate tat prayojanam. Yamartham abhipsan jihasan va. Abhipsan means desirous of getting. Okay. So jihasan, desirous of living. Yamartham abhipsan jihasan va karma arabhate. Okay. So we do know sometimes in the partnership, so we should have partnership, there should be a merger between the two companies. So there is a lot of discussion which goes on. Yamartham abhipsan, merger abhipsan. Okay. So there is already a partnership between the two fellows. So now somehow you have to leave the partner. Then also karma arabhate, thinking and you do various things so that you separate from him. Both are prayojana. Okay. So merger or separation. So yamartham means there is some other purpose for getting into this now. Okay. So why do you want a merger? That is a different kind of a prayojana. So merger is one level of prayojana. Okay. So yamartham abhipsan jihasanva. So that karma arabhate tat prayojanam. In fact, he goes on and says, Tena anena sarve praninaha sarvani karmani sarvascha vidyaha vyaptaha. Understand? This is a very interesting statement. Tena prayojanena sarve praninaha. Okay? Sarve praninaha. Mosquito comes and sits on your body. Why? There is a prayojana to suck. Sarve praninaha. So when it keeps on moving around you, okay, so there is a prayojana. So tena prayojanena abhipsan jihasan, and all your activities you apply some odomas. What is this activity? Jihasan. So to avoid this mosquito sitting on you. Okay. So yamartham abhipsan jihasan va, okay, karma arabhate. Yourself applying odomas is jihasan. So that fellow moving around you, abhipsan. Okay. So that is a prayo. Yamartham abhipsan jihasan va karma arabhate tat prayojanam. Having said this, he says, see, Tena anena sarve praninaha sarvani karmani sarvascha vidyaha vyaptaha. Vyaptaha means it is pervaded. Okay. So this prayojana pervades all kinds of things. Okay. So not only among human beings, even among all pranis. So this is how he defines prayojana. Now, this shastram narambhaniyam. Okay, there is no prayojana. That is what he is saying. Huh? So this is in the commentary, Vatsyayana's commentary. Just commentary to that. In fact, it is there right at the beginning. Okay, in the Nyaya Sutra. First Sutra itself it is there. Okay, now here he says, so let us read one sentence. Nanu Brahma Jnanam Vyartham. Vyartham means there is no prayojana. You understand? Vyartham Vyartham means, so, artha, there is no purpose. Vigataha artha. Okay? So there is no purpose. Brahma jnanam vyartham. So then he gives the hetu. Ghada jnanavat tatprapya phalabhavat. So there is a typo in the text. So ghada jnanavat, you have to remove the ganda. Then tatprapya phalabhavat should be one word. Okay, if you have the text in front of you, so then you have to make these corrections. ननु ब्रह्मज्ञानं व्यर्थं घटज्ञानवत् तत्प्राप्य फलाभावात् इति कृत्वा वेदान्ताः अप्रमाणमेवेति चेत्. It continues. This apramanyam I was telling. So apramanyam can be from various aspects. Apramanyameveti chet aivamapi brahmajnanat sarvasamsara phalamiti yadva brahmanandavaptihi. Okay? See, so the objection is, he says, I cannot think of any purpose by having Brahmajnana. Vyartham. See, so if you at least do MBA here, you will get some job. Okay, that management jnanam, accounting jnanam. So, see, Aradhana is doing database jnanam, how to handle. I will get some job. What do you get by Brahmajnana? Brahmajnanam vyartham. So here he gives the word Gadajnanavat. So you can supply accounting jnanam, so chemical jnanam, whatever jnanam, okay? So chemistry jnanam, physics jnanam, accounting jnanam, Python programming jnanam. So that jnanavat tatprapya phalabhavat. Tatprapya phala means by possessing this jnana you will have a phala. Understand? Tatprapya phalam means Tajnanena yat phalam prapyam tadrisha phalasya abhavat. Understand? So Ghadajnanavat here you should understand it as Ghadajnanena kimapi prayojanam asti. So you replace by Ghata with something else, accountancy. Okay? Accountancy jnanavat tatprapya phalabhavat. Tatprapya phalam I see in everything. You understand? Any jnana that I acquire here, whether it is dancing, whether it is playing, whatever it is, tatprapya phalam asti. Brahmajnana kim phala? Okay? Tatprapya phala bhavat. Iti kritva, because of this reason, Vedantaha apramanameveti chet. So this is actually technically called as, for those who are interested, this should be understood as Vyatirikyanumana. Okay, so I will not get into the details now. So that is just for information. Those who are keen on learning more and knowing the difference between Anumana. So Nanu Brahmajnanam Vyartham Ghadajnanavat Tatprapya Phalabhavat Iti Kritva Vedantaha Apramanameveti Chet. Suppose you raise this objection. Okay. Apramanameveti chet. What does he say? He says, Maivamapi. Oh man, you cannot say this. Okay? Even this way of proving apramanyam does not work. Why? He says, Brahmajnanat samsara nivrittihi phalam. So there is a phala, and this phala is samsara nivrittihi phalam. Yadva brahmanandavaptihi. There are two ways of looking at it. So these two are very important. In fact, we desire both. See, so samsara nivrittihi means a freedom from a kind of entanglement which I am experiencing by being sucked into this world. Okay. So this is what we call as samsara nivrittihi. Okay. So sarva samsara nivrittihi he is saying. All kinds of bondages I want to get rid of. Okay. Sarva samsara nivrittihi phala. So one kind of a samsara nivritti is much easy. Okay. So you apply Odomos something periodically or you do something. So that mosquito bites something, or you go to some place where there is no mosquito. I don't know whether there is anything. Okay. In fact, there is a nice verse. What is that? Manye matkuna shankayanta. So Kshiradhau to harishyete manye matkuna shankaya. why is Vishnu sleeping in Vaikuntha? Because of the problem that he may see that he may experience here. He went and okay. Okay, so there is Kshirabdhau tu Harishete Manye Matguna Shankaya. So anyway, so that is samsara nivritti in one form or other form. Sarva samsara nivritti he is saying. Okay? So all kinds of samsara nivritti that will happen. So that is the prayojana. So how can you say that there is no purpose? So many people have experienced this samsara nivritti. Even by learning little by little. See, there were a few mails which were sent to me. So after learning this Shloki, I am able to see that there is a change in my attitude. So little by little you study Vedanta. So you see that there is a tangible effect in handling various things in life. So here is sarva samsara nivrittihi. If you fully understand and this knowledge has set into action, okay, has issued into action in your life, so then sarva samsara nivrittihi prayojanam. The other thing that he says is yadva, or else brahmananda vaptihi. What is brahmananda vaptihi? You have to understand what is brahmananda. For understanding that, you have to read some Taittiriya Upanishad. So this various levels of ananda is being stated there, and ultimately what you find is that brahmananda vaptihi. Okay. So te yeshatam manusha ananda, manushya gandharvana ananda, deva gandharvana ananda, devana ananda, and so on and so forth. See, this ananda multiplied 100 times is equal to that ananda. That ananda multiplied 100 times is that ananda. So this is how you can grade that ananda, and there is a nice ladder, see, moving from one to the other, and ultimately they say it is brahmananda. So this is the prayojana. So you cannot say that this has no prayojana. So these two are the prayojanas. It is not something which is tangible here. Tangible here means by securing some job. Okay. So that is what is the kind of objection that is being raised here. Apparently I do not see anything. I have understood that is what is Brahman. So just by listening something, nothing happens. So you have to be first of all qualifying yourself, and then having qualified yourself, if you are able to appreciate what is being stated, so then you will see the effect of it. Okay. So Brahma Jnanat samsara nivrittihi phalam yadva brahmananda vaptihi. In fact, I will give you one more thing which is worth knowing here and share. See, why is he saying in two different forms? Okay. So there are two statements, yadva brahmananda vaptihi. So this has to do with the positions which have been taken by Naiyayikas in defining apavarga and Vedantins in defining apavarga. Okay. So Naiyayikas, they will say dukkha-dhvamsaha mokshaha apavargaha. Dukkha janma pravritti dosha mithyaඥānānām uttarottarāpāye tadanantarāpāyāt apavargaha. So that is the position which has been taken by Naiyayikas. So apāyāt apavargaha mokshaha. Okay. So that position is not acceptable to Vedantins. Okay. And therefore they say ananda vaptihi. Dukkha dhvamsaha means absence of dukkha, let us say. Okay. Dukkha dhvamsaha is absence of dukkha. Now, this pustaka, does it have any dukkha? Doesn't have. So absence of dukkha is there. So is it mukta? Unless you read it and explain it, it is mukta. So anyway, so I'm just saying, because while reading itself, people can really mess up things, and in interpretation they can far more mess up. So this book, this Vedanta Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya, so it is not something which can be done by anybody and everybody. Okay, so now that is something which is set apart. So here, this dukkha dvamsa, defining it as a moksha, is not something which was found to be most elegant way of describing moksha and in tune with what is being stated in various Upanishads. And therefore, Vedantins so wanted to uphold this position. See, Brahmananda Vaptihi. Okay. So one can question further. So this will be taken up further. Okay, further discussion. So, but as far as these two lines are concerned, so it is prayojana bhavat apramanyam. Okay, so that was the objection, and he says there is prayojana. So this prayojana can be visualized in two ways. In fact, we experience in both ways. Okay, so initially, so dukkha dvamsaha. So later, ananda vapti. Okay, they are sort of connected with each other also. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Sukhinas Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om.